All right, I'm about to live record a battle for ADV Revival 3. There we go. Jeez, I was waiting a long time for this, so this better be good. This is Revenant in the Flesh versus Pato Patricio. I think I'm going to switch viewpoints because Revenant in the Flesh is one of the Zet's Cord homies, so we're rooting for Revenant in the Flesh here. I'm doing this because I want a little bit of practice with a live comm. It'll become very apparent to you probably in the not too distant future why I'm interested in brushing up on live commentary, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So we have lead Zapdos versus lead Tyranitar. Zapdos is wanting to switch out. Baton passes to Hariyama, who is in a sense a rock resist. I mean, technically it is, but I think Rock Resist a lot of times is shorthand for Aerodactyl switching, and you can't really switch into HP Flying with a fighting type, so that's why we don't always commonly think about fighting types as Rock Resists, or at least not as much as like our ground types. That Focus Punch was really nice damage on the Skarmory. Rev goes for Drill Peck, trying to catch that again, but we see Starmie come in. Now it's Celebi versus Hariyama, so I'm thinking that this is a not so bad turn to go for a knockoff, but instead the Hariyama is going to go for Focus Punch. Not going to do very much to the Salamence. Salamence is going to get a lot from that Leech Seed. Zets is in the chat, very cool. But Mixment's not doing very much to the Blissey. I'm wondering if we're going to see an Aerodactyl on Rev's team. I know that Rev is pretty well versed in some Aero B structures, but with Starmie revealed, I'm not sure if you would want a Aerodactyl in the last slot. You're lacking in a Rock Resist if you do such a thing. So Hydro Pump coming down on the Blissey, switch to Starmie. So not very consequential. I don't think that Starmie would have taken so much, but Thunderbolt is coming down. Pato's going to opt to go for a Thunder Wave. I don't know if that's the best thing to do. Yeah, because a switch to Celebi on the Blissey is going to basically make that worthless. And we're going to see a switch to Skarmory on Ice Beam. Ooh, Skarmory's frozen. That's not good. It would have been really nice to get some spikes down, but we're going to see Metagross as the Rock Resist for Rev. Interesting. I would be a little bit scared of DD Tyranitar if I was using Rev's team, but it's not unworkable. We do see a Metagross from Pato's side as well. Skarmory coming in, going to take 17% from that Meteor Mash. That is a very small amount. I'm guessing that this is a mixed Metagross based on that. We're going to see a switch to Starmie there. Could have been scary if you got in on a Thunder Punch, but not every mixed Metagross has Thunder Punch. A lot of them are Psychic and Fire. Hidden Power Fire specifically. But you should just be able to switch in on offensive Starmie. And probably setting up a Wish. Yep. So a switch to either Metagross or Hariyama would be pretty decent here. Every time the Hariyama has come in, it has gone for Focus Punch. I wonder if we're going to see an adaptation. Oh, critical hit Earthquake. That probably didn't kill. It might depend. Oh, and then Pato disconnects. Maybe having some internet issues. Well, let's take a look at where we are in this stage here. So I would think that Metagross would be the best switch in to this Tyranitar at this stage, but given how little damage it did to Skarmory, I'm guessing that it is a mixed meta, which means that how much are you doing with Meteor Mash with mixed meta? I can't imagine that you are threatening an Oko. Even if this is a... Well, it might depend on what this Tyranitar is, but I have a sneaking suspicion that even a no HP investment Tyranitar gets there. Pato has rejoined. Looks like we would be doing about 90% maximum. So, in fact, we're going to go to the Starmie. Makes a little bit of sense because you get that Wish. Although, is Starmie going to be your best answer there? Don't know. Gonna see a double to Zapdos as Starmie comes in. Pretty nice play from Pato and gets a substitute up. So now the Celebi's not going to be able to Leech Seed. Goes for Hidden Power Ice, not for much damage. As we see Hidden Power Fire back. Okay, so this is probably Leech 3 attacks Celebi. Rev does like these offensive Celebi, I've noticed, in many of the games that I've watched them play. They got to top 2 on the ladder, which is really, really cool. If Triangles wasn't gatekeeping, could have maybe made it to top 1. 2 Rock Slide misses in a row. I mean, it happens. Not good on the Zapdos, obviously, but the Metagross maybe a little less consequential. Don't think it would have put it into Earthquake range or anything like that. Meteor Mash coming down for 35% on the Starmie, not very much. I think we'll probably see a switch to Blissey. That makes sense. Hydro Pump coming down for 18%. And then Blissey has a little bit of a decision to make here. Goes for Soft Boiled. Pretty reasonable. It does cede some momentum to this Tyranitar, though, who is going to Dragon Dance. This Blissey needs to click Thunder Wave if it has it. It does not. An Earthquake coming down, catching the Metagross switch in. Very nice. You're going to have to sack Metagross here. And then Starmie might be able to live an attack from +1 Tyranitar. I'm not sure. Seems that Rev is going to switch out anyway. But Thunder Wave coming down. This should be a switch to Blissey now. We are running out of options for taking out this Tyranitar. Oh, Pato's going to play, I guess, for a crit or a full para on the Starmie. Or maybe predicting a switch. Okay, so loses the Starmie. Now Tyranitar looks like it's just going to run away with this game. I think the Zapdos probably goes for Substitute here. No, just goes for Thunderbolt, eliminates the Skarmory. Now you basically lose, right? Could get a crit, could get a para. Gets neither. Tyranitar Dragon Dances. Could get a miss with... Oh! The Zapdos is faster. Okay. I mean, maybe I would have saw that if I saw the leftovers. But, you know, with the pace of a live game, it is a little hard to catch all of those details. But Zapdos is going to take out the Celebi. Metagross is in pretty good health. It's going to live a Zapdos. There better be a switch in for Metagross in the back. There is not, I guess. So Agility Metagross just wins the game. Meteor Mash coming down. Could have missed, but it is what it is. I don't think Metagross is going to die to Seismic Toss here. Actually opts to go for Explosion. I wonder if that's going to come back to bite. Oh, Tyranitar of their own. But this is Mixed Ments with Brick Break. Should be able to two-shot. Goes for Rock Slide. Does not get the crit or the flinch. It didn't really matter because I think Starmie would have cleaned up anyway. And Rev takes game 1. A little bit of a closer one than I would have thought when the Metagross went down. Kind of interesting, though. Let's wait for game 2 here. Yeah, I think this is a sample team from Pato with the Hariyama Zapdos lead. I think... I don't know if the Hariyama had knockoff. If it didn't, it probably should have, and probably should have went for a knockoff somewhere. Catching that Celebi, for example, would have been really nice. It puts the Celebi on the back foot, as you can switch around to things like your Blissey and your Zapdos, which steal that Leech Seed PP and force that Celebi to have to take some sand damage with no help from the leftovers. This next game has not started yet. Thunder Wave Blissey would have went really nice here. A Thunder Wave onto that Tyranitar would have saved a lot of grief. But I understand Wish plus Soft Boil plus 2 attacks makes a lot of sense. You could have got away maybe with not having Ice Beam for this particular matchup. Obviously, Ice Beam's nice into Salamence, but a Paralysis on Salamence is honestly almost better. Not always. Sometimes it's just better to get the elimination, but it is what it is. I guess the gamers are taking some time to think about what they're going to do for their next team. I wonder if we're going to see Rev go with an Aerobee. I think that was the team that they got to top 2 on the ladder with. Pato, I'm not sure. Probably going to load up another sample team, I would imagine. This is always great to just be sitting around waiting. I've been listening to Gorillaz recently, the band. They've got an interesting sound. I think it's mostly a project of one guy, but he has like in-house animators to do music videos and gets a lot of guests on. So there's some really interesting stuff there. I mean, Feels Good Inc. I mean, that's Feel Good Inc. I think actually, that's a classic for sure. I really liked the Plastic Beach album though. Some really interesting ones on there. On Melancholy Hill, Rhinestone Eyes. If you like Gorillaz, comment below. And then tell me if you like Demon Days or Plastic Beach. My roommate is a big Gorillaz fan, and I asked him that, and he had a lot of difficulty answering that question. We're kind of just switching back and forth here. I might just put some GIF on the screen. Maybe some Subway Surfers. Probably not. But maybe something a little bit more stimulating to the eyes, at least. That doesn't really matter. I know most of you are watching me with your phone in your pocket. I would think that we would get into game 2 a little quicker than this. Let me see what Zetsquared has to say about this game. Nothing. Any armchairing going on? Oh yeah, people commenting on the Hariyama dying to that critical hit from the Tyranitar into the disconnect, thinking that it was a rage quit. That would have been really funny. Oh, okay, next game. Here we go. Let's go back to turn 1. All right, Regirock. All right, we're going to switch the viewpoints for consistency. Switches into Swampert from Rev. That's a very good switch into Regirock. Now goes to Gengar, trying to catch the Boom. Instead catches Snorlax. Not so bad. You could go for Will-O-Wisp here. Instead opting to go to Skarmory on Houndoom switch. Whoa, okay. So that's not good. Rev's going to have to switch here. Will-O-Wisp would be really bad for Tyranitar if that comes in, though. You can't switch to Gengar, really, because you're just Pursuit trapped in that case. We are going to see a switch to Tyranitar, and the Will-O-Wisp misses. That's not good. Houndoom's going to have to switch here now. I mean, it was going to have to switch either way, but getting that Will-O-Wisp would have been really nice. We see a Fortress, who takes a lot from that Focus Punch. Wow. I wonder if that's Choice Banded damage. Probably not. But does opt to go for Hidden Power Bug. That Skarmory has no item. It thiefs the Fortress. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. Oh, Pato goes for Rapid Spin. I don't think that's the turn to go for Rapid Spin. I think you want to get a Spike if you're going to stay in with Fortress at all. Now gets the Spike. Going to go to Gengar, which is a pretty good answer to Skarmory here. And we do see a Celebi. This is looking like Aerobee from Revenant, I would think. Could be Big 5 Celebi. I don't think that's really a team, but I guess. Goes for Pursuit. Celebi opts to stay in and recover. Nice click. I think we're going to see a switch to Tyranitar. At least I think that's what I would do. Alright, takes the Pursuit. And now the Tyranitar is in. We're going to see if this is Lumberry, perhaps. No item, so Lumberry or Choice Band. Oh, it is Choice Band, but Rock Slide still kills through the burn. Now we see Swampert switch in. I think that you might have wanted to save that Houndoom if you're Pato here. It's looking a little bit more difficult to answer the Skarmory. Gengar is going to have to get there. Taunt. Interesting. Oh, Focus Punch catches the Swampert. Shouldn't do all that much. Ooh, 42, that, never mind, that does a lot. Oh, Swampert's going to Focus Punch back and catch the Skarmory. Really nice. If this is Focus Punch Pert, it's probably offensive, so that Hydro Pump should do a lot. That actually didn't do that much. That's weird. I would think that like a max special attack Swampert should be doing a lot more than that. I'm wondering if this is a physically oriented Pert, but I mean, you're just going to let up 3 layers of spikes, and your Fortress is low with no... oh! I was going to say with no leftovers, and Gengar is up, but Gengar's not up anymore. That crit is huge. Now we get a switch, probably to Snorlax here if we want it. Instead, going to go to Gengar. Might be reasonable. This might be a more defensively oriented Celebi, but defensive Celebi oftentimes is packing Psychic. Yeah, so this Gengar is going to be taking a lot there. Now we're going to see a switch to Snorlax. Celebi's recovered up. Probably just going to Leech Seed here. Misses the Leech Seed. This is big for Pato. We get a Para? No. But Celebi's going to have to choose whether it's going to... Oh, okay, just switches out. Body Slam comes down for a decent chunk of damage. Going to finish off the Tyranitar with the burn. And now Skarmory is in, threatening that 3rd layer. Pato's just going to allow it to go up, though. I mean, you can't really hard switch to Fortress there. Oh, gets a critical hit with the Body Slam to finish off the Skarm. Alright, Fortress can switch in exactly once. We're going to have to find a great turn for this, though. But with Snorlax, Body Slam, threatening a Paralysis, you could say get a Paralysis on Swampert, and then sack something, and then that gives you a Fortress entry to spin. That could be an option for you. Oh, Tyranitar's going for... Or, sorry, Snorlax is going for Curse here. Does it have a... Rest? It does. Interesting. So this is kind of like an all-in on Snorlax type of team. I wonder if the Houndoom had Sunny Day to clear the weather. But this is going to be a Curse Pert as well, which is something that you see pretty commonly on these Aerobee type structures. I'm wondering if Pato knew that. It's opting to stay in. Better hit a Paralysis on this Swampert to slow down its momentum. Instead, opts to go for a Curse. I don't think that this is quite the play, though. Yeah, because now you lose Snorlax. You better have Giga Drain or something on your Gengar. Gengar comes in immediately, though, so that is indicating that there is such a thing. Goes for Will-O-Wisp. I mean, I don't know how good this is going to be. All right, now Fortress is in, opting to go for the Rapid Spin. Going to sack off. Regirock can't really switch in because Hydro Pump's still going to do a lot. Goes for Rock Slide anyway. Misses the pump. All right, you just have to dodge 4 more pumps. I mean, you could probably dodge at least 3 out of the next 4. Whoa, that does a lot. I'm almost positive that Earthquake would kill here. Now goes for Explosion, and then we're betting the game on Lastmon Pert to win. I think that this was a bit mismanaged in the mid-game from Pato. Goes for Focus Punch. I guess, I don't know what exactly the hope was there. I mean, Not that you were ever going to beat HP Grass Celebi, but there we go. It's a clean 2-0 for Revenant in the Flesh. Pretty nicely played. I bet that this last mon was Aerodactyl based on the Celebi, based on the rest of the team, the Curse Pert. It would just make too much sense. Yeah. I mean, leaving that Houndoom in was probably not the play. You probably could have switched to your unrevealed Swampert here. That would have been really nice. And then you could threaten a nice Hydro Pump. Then you still would have had a game to play here. You would have had to figure out how to get rid of this Skarmory and then get the spin with Fortress. With this Swampert lowering its speed, though, it's not that hard to outspeed with the Fortress eventually. But yeah, that's going to be the game, and that was a nice set. Well played by Revenant, Pato. I mean, you have some notes for what to do in matchups like this, but you still have another set at the very least. You have to lose 3 sets to get knocked out, so good luck to you, and good luck to everybody else in Revival.